Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to learn the most important basics in Python, which are variables. We will learn the variables. Think of variables as a little containers where we store the information like numbers, words, objects, or even Boolean values like true or false. And the best part is that they make our program more dynamic and reusable. In today's video, I will walk you through how to create and use variables, what are local and global variables, how to change global variables inside functions, changing variables, multiple assignment variables, and a mini project. This mini project is a simple student info app where you will input some details and it will tell you whether the student has passed or failed. Okay, so now let's get started. I will open up a Visual Studio Code. Okay, so let's get started about what are local variables. Local variables are like inside, you can define inside a function, inside a class, like that. So for example, I am writing a function greet message is hello world, print the message and call the greet function. Let's run this. So here it is showing it is hello world. Now let's define a global variable. All the global variables are defined outside the function. Okay. So let's say name is equal to Amitabh. Now this is a global variable Amitabh. Now we'll create a method called show name. And I'll pass the show name and I'll just simply print inside the function and I'll just pass the name variable, the name variable which we have defined on the start. Okay, and then I will call this function show name and print outside the function the same thing. Now let's run this. Inside the function Amitabh, outside the function Amitabh. Okay, now let's try to change the variables inside the function. Okay, let's try to change the variables inside the global function, global variable inside the function. Okay, so let's say there is a counter is equal to 1. And now def increment counter. Okay, and what I will do is global counter global counter, which is I'm assigned. This is the basically when you am writing a global here means it is basically trying to pick up the variable which is defined outside the function. Okay, global counter, then I'm incrementing with 1 and it is saying inside the function the counter, so it will print. Okay, now let me call this function increment counter and then the outside the function count. So if you see, since I called the global counter here and I'm adding it. Okay, so basically I'm trying to define a variable inside the function, but I'm trying to call the global variable inside the function and updating it. So that's why this keyword global is used, and then we are simply printing it outside. Okay, So this is the way you can change global values inside the function. We can also try something else. Let me So let's try to see if we define same name of the variable which is inside as well as outside the function. Okay, so counter 2 is equal to 11, def increment counter 2. This is inside the function and this is outside the function. So what I did was counter 2 plus equal to 1 and counter 2 is equal to 1, and I'm adding it plus equal to 1 inside the function, and increment counter 2 I'm calling, and then I'm also calling here the counter 2 which is this variable. So inside the function also I'm defining a variable called counter 2, and outside also there is a variable called counter 2. Now let's see what happens. Okay, so if you see, after running this, it says inside the function it is showing as 2 and outside the function it is showing as 11. So outside the function it is directly calling the global variable 11. Okay, but inside the function since I have defined a new variable here, so it will call the same variable and it will print. So I have defined it as 1 and then I am incrementing with another 1, so total is 2. So that's why it is calling, that's why it is printing 2. Okay, now let's do one more. So let's see how we can perform multiple assignments. Okay, so multiple of assignments like x comma y is equal to 2 comma 3. Now let's print x and y. So it printed 2 comma 3. Okay, so by using comma you can assign many values. So if you want to assign, so say in a function if you are returning multiple values, you can take it in the you can assign it in multiple values. Like for example, define return multiple values, and I am returning 1 2 3. Now if you see, I'm a comma b comma c is equal to return multiple values. So since I'm returning 1 comma 2 comma 3, I can take it like this only: a comma b comma c is equal to return multiple values. So it will assign a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2 and c is equal to 3. See, it printed. Okay, now let's go ahead with the small mini project of using variables. It's going to be really interesting. So this is a small student info app where we'll try to intake some information from the student and try to understand is the student passed or failed. So let's take a variable called name is equal to input. What's your name? Input your name. Then I'll take the age and then the marks is equal to float. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm using input. Input is like when we'll run, you will see it is like I'm asking for user input. Then it will say enter your name. Then I'm taking age, input your age. So after taking the input your age, I'm just simply taking the age, and I don't want to use float. Yeah, so if marks is equal to input, enter your marks. Then what we'll do is we'll try to store these data in some variables. So student underscore name is equal to name, age, and student underscore marks is equal to marks. Now let's try to print it. Let's try to print what information is coming. So we'll try to print student name, try to print student age, student marks. Now here comes the main. Let's put some condition like if a student marks is greater than 90, then it will print okay, the student has got grade A. Then if the student's marks is greater than 80, then it is grade B. And if it is 70, then it is grade C. Else it is grade D, LF. So we use LF. So when there are multiple if conditions, then you use LF, ELIF. So LF, if the student marks is greater if LF int. So there's one thing, let's do one thing, int of marks is student. So I'll do int of marks here, so we don't have to all the time convert it to the int, but since if elif student marks is less than 50, less than, let's say 35, in India 35 is the pass rate, so we'll say student has failed. Okay, so let's try to run this. So we are doing an input means it will take, see, after running this, it is saying at the top, you see, enter your name. So I'll enter. So my name is Avinash. What's your age? Avinash is 10 years old. Enter the marks, let's say 60. Let's say 75. So it said okay, after entering 75, what did it print? Avinash, student age is 10, student marks is 75, and it has got grade C. So it went through these conditions. Okay, and I'll give an else condition also, because if it is not satisfying any of these conditions, then it will go into the else print grade D. Okay, so again let me run. Student name Mansi, age is 11, and marks is say 60. So it has got grade D. So she got grade D. So I hope everyone has learned something in this video, and if you like it, please subscribe my channel for such videos again. Thank you so much.